Hello students, welcome to class. In this lesson, we shall be discussing the components of cell. Every organism, either plants or animal, they are made up of cell. As we discussed in our previous class, that says that they are what? They are the basic units of every living organism. So both plants and animals, they are composed of cell. So in this lesson, we shall be looking at the component of cell and their functions. So here we have both the plants and animal cells. We have the mitochondrion, we have the vacuole, we have the cell wall, we have the cytoplasm, we have the plasma membrane, we have the Golgi apparatus, we have the ribosome, we have the endoplasmic reticulum, we have the nucleus, we have the lysosome, and we have the centriole. So these are the various components of both plants and animal cell. So we shall be looking at the function of each of these components, both in plant cell and animal cell. So the first we want to look at is the cell wall. So the cell wall, it is found in all plant cells. So they surround the cell surface membrane, and they are made up of cellulose. And this cell wall, they give mechanical support and protection to plants. So that is the aspect of what? Of cell wall. So this cell wall, they are found only in plants, unlike in the aspect of animal, where we have the cell membrane, which is also called what? The plasma membrane. So this plasma membrane, they are selectively permeable. What do you mean by selectively permeable? That is, they can allow the movement of materials, of mineral nutrients, to move into the cell and outside the cell. And they also, the function of this plasma membrane is they are physical barrier for the cell that separates the internal and the external environment. So this is what the function of what? Of the plasma membrane. And this plasma membrane, they are composed of lipids. They're also composed of proteins, and they're also composed of carbohydrates. So that is the aspect of what? The plasma membrane, which is majorly found in what? In animal cell. Unlike in the aspect of the cell wall that we discussed the other time, that was found only in plant cell, plasma membrane, they are found in animal cell. So they are selectively permeable. That is, there are some materials that can only pass through this plasma membrane. So that's the aspect of plasma membrane. And then we now have what we call the protoplasm. So this protoplasm, it consists of the nucleus and cytoplasm. So if you are asked that what are the two components of what? Of the protoplasm, it is what? The nucleus and the cytoplasm. So we still talk about the what? The importance of nucleus and the importance of cytoplasm. Then the next one we talk about is the nucleus. So the function of the nucleus to all cells, because the nucleus is present both in plant cell and animal cell. So the nucleus controls the activities of the cell. So that is what? That is the function of the nucleus. It controls the function or the activities of the cell. And in this aspect of nucleus, it contains the hereditary information of the cell, which is what? The DNA. And what DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid. So every nucleus, it contains what? The DNA. And there is another pigment called the chromosome. So this chromosome, they are also found in the nucleus. So what is a chromosome? Chromosomes, they are thread-like materials. They are what? They are thread-like. They are very tiny materials that are found in the nucleus of a cell. Are we together? So inside the chromosome, we now have the DNA, which contains the what? The hereditary information. So what makes you look like your parent is what? The presence of the DNA, which is what? The hereditary information. So DNA is present in the chromosome, and chromosome is present in the nucleus. And the nucleus, they are surrounded by what? By nuclear membrane. So what's the function of this nuclear membrane? They provide support, and they also control the movement of substance through the nuclear pores. So what are the nuclear? Those are the tiny holes. Looking at the picture you have here, you see where we have the what? The labeling of what? Of the nuclear pores. So they are the tiny holes which allow the what? The movement of materials, the movement of substance into what? Into the nucleus. Then also we have the Golgi body, which in some texts we have it as what? The Golgi apparatus. So this Golgi body is made up of a stack of membrane band bodies known as what? The cisternae. So that is what? The aspect of the Golgi body or the Golgi apparatus. Then we have the lysosomes. The lysosome is also an important component in animal cell. So what is the function of this lysosome? That is, it is to break down unwanted macromolecules. So these are the unwanted food substance, the unwanted materials in the body. So they break them down altogether. So that is the function of lysosome, and this lysosome is also present in what? In animal cell. And thereafter we have the centrioles. The centrioles also, they are present in what? In animal cells only. So they are involved in organizing microtubules in the cytoplasm. So this centriole, they are present in the chromosome of a cell, that is in the nucleus of a cell. Which type of cell? The animal cell. Why? Because centrioles are only present in animal cell. And what is the function of centrioles? They are involved in what? In organizing the microtubules in the cytoplasm. And what is the cytoplasm? These are what? They are filled around what? The entire cell, both in the plant cell and animal cell. But centrioles, they are present only in the animal cells. And after them we have the vacuoles. The vacuoles are present both in animal cell and in plant cell. But in animal cell, vacuole plays a very important role of storage of waste products for disposal. So the vacuole is where we have what? Where it stores waste product before it is what? It is being expelled out, before it is being disposed out of the body. So that is the function of what? Of the vacuole. So in both plant and animal, the vacuole functions as a storage of waste products for disposal. And the vacuole is storage of structure in the cell. It can hold food for later use or for waste removal. So that is the function of a vacuole, which is what? The food vacuole. Then we have the mitochondria. The singular is mitochondrion. So it is a powerhouse of the cell. So it is one that powers the cell. Just as you have a phone, from the picture you are seeing, just like you have a phone, without the battery, a phone cannot function. The same thing is applicable to a mitochondria, which is what? The powerhouse of the cell. So without the mitochondrion, a cell cannot be active. Activities cannot take place. Though the nucleus is where all other activities function. It is the nucleus functions for all other activities of the cell. But what powers the nucleus is the mitochondria. So therefore, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Then I want to talk about the differences and similarities between plant and animal cells. So what are the difference and what are the things they also have in common, which is the similarities between plant and animal cells. Now from the picture you've seen, you see that we have what? The various components of the cell. So the first thing that we talk about is what? Based on their structure. So the first thing is based on their cell wall. Animal cell, they do not have a cell wall. Only plants has what? Has cell wall. And the second one is chloroplast. So in the aspect of animal cell, they do not have chloroplast. Why? Because animals do not photosynthesize. So the function of a chloroplast is for what? Is for photosynthesis. So only plant cell has what? Has chloroplast. Why? Because they can manufacture their food by themselves. So which makes it important for all plant cells to have a chloroplast. And the third one is the mode of storage of food. How do animal cells store their food? They store their food in form of what? In form of glycogen. While plant cells, they form their food in form of what? Of a starch. And the fourth one is in the aspect of a vacuole. And what I call the function of vacuole, the what? That's where food are stored for later use or for what? Or for removal. So in animal cell, they are small. So animal cells have a very small and temporary vacuole. While in plant cell, they have a large vacuole. So that is the aspect of what? And the aspect of the vacuole. And also in animal cell, the shape of an animal cell, they what? They can change, but most times they have a round shape. So that talks about what? The shape of an animal cell. But in the case of a plant cell, they have a fixed shape, and the fixed shape is what? Is a regular shape that looks like a triangle. Then what are now the similarities between plant cell and animal cell? What do they have in common? Both plant cell and animal cell, they have nucleus. Both of them have nucleus. Both of them have cytoplasm. Both of them have plasma membrane. Both of them have Golgi apparatus. Both of them have mitochondria. Both of them have endoplasmic reticulum and ribosome. So that is what they share what in common. That is what the similarities between plant and animal cells. So both plant and animal cells, they have nucleus, they have cytoplasm, they have plasma membrane, they have Golgi apparatus, they have mitochondria, they have endoplasmic reticulum, and they both have ribosome. But in the aspect of their difference, like what I've said, in animal cell, the animal cells have centrioles, while in plant cell, they do not have centrioles. I hope you've learned a lot from this lesson. So till we see in our next class, bye for now.